How's it going, everybody? It's Carlos, one of your hosts of the Bring on the Blitz podcast. I'm joined here, like I am every week, with my co-host Rios. How's it going, Rios?
I just realized today is the 1st of October. Where is the year
Bro,
gone?
October 1st.
This long year is almost over, guys.
It's insane. Yeah, time is going by pretty fast. So, listen, here's what we're a rundown for today. We're gonna be talking uh Texans versus Titans. Texans beat the Titans in a shutout victory, 26-0. Sounds like a dominant game, which it was, but not until the fourth quarter. So,
Yeah.
we will be deep diving into the Texans versus Titans game, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and of course, what to expect this upcoming weekend against the Baltimore Ravens when the Texans travel up to Baltimore to face off against Harbaugh's Ravens. And of course, a little bit of college football talk. U of H faces off against Texas Tech at home while U of H is wearing Houston blue. That's right. They're repping the city of Houston, of course, against Texas Tech. All this and more after our intro. Hit it.
Tell them bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs on miss. Fourth down the flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rios. They bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs on miss. Fourth down the flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing they fist. With Carlos and Poppy and Rios. They bring on the blitz.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I love that. That's a banger. What just happened to your screen? It looks worse. How do
I
you
know.
clean it and it gets worse?
I'll deal with it.
Bro, you look like, like in the movies when there's a dream sequence, that's what it looks like right now.
I look like a vampire from Twilight.
Yeah, you do. Look at you being all translucent. Oh my god. I'm distracted now. All right.
There we
So
go.
as I mentioned right before our intro, we're going to be talking about the Texans. It looks like a shutout victory, 26-0. It looks like a very dominant victory, but it wasn't all that pretty. It didn't start off like that. You started seeing more results after, like, around the fourth quarter, once like the Tennessee Titans defense just started getting gassed. So let's run it through real quick. Let's run like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's look at the positives. Okay, let's start off with the positives. I really enjoyed out of all of this, I really enjoyed Woody Marks. Like, just how this has to be your starter moving forward.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think when the Texans got Nick Chubb, it was like, okay, great, you have somebody to back up Joe Mixon, and then here we are now, and Joe Mixon, we don't know, but the Texans have not given a transparent answer on what is happening with Joe Mixon. There's a lot of speculation, of course, but nothing has actually been said about Joe Mixon's status. I mean, technically, I think when we're talking, they said by week 4 he should be back based on what he was placed in the injury reserve list during training camp. Correct?
He hasn't been activated yet. And from according to Aaron Wilson from the Houston Chronicle, we won't get an update on him until the middle of October, which in my mind is telling me more than likely he's going to miss the remainder of the season.
It's a possibility. It's over here. Like, yeah, I guess people are concerned about the lack of transparency. Like, what's going on? Just if something is happening with Joe, then just be transparent, see what's going on, and whatever. But
we're going to need a sign of life, because has anyone seen Joe Mixon in the last several months?
put him on a milk carton. What's going on? Missing. Have you seen this
He's
man?
in an alternate dimension, like in The Simpsons.
Right, when Homer goes into the alternate dimension,
Yep.
and he's all scared walking down. Ooh, erotic cakes. Remember that? Remember that scene? Yeah. Anyway,
Simpsons. They got it for everything.
Yeah, no. And so, nonetheless, like, it's kind of like looking back at it, and now you're like, okay, so Woody Marks, this is the kid that they drafted this off during the draft this season, this offseason, excuse me. And then, I mean, one of the things that really, besides his runs, like, you saw a little bit of it last against Tampa Bay, right? You saw a little bit of it of action, and then it was back and forth with Dario Wundawala, which the Texans haven't seen out on the field. after basically the fumble and just not being able to pass block. But now, like, you've seen more highlights of Woody Marks. He has these really nice bursts, runs or whatnot, and then
his pass blocking as well.
Oh, the pass blocking, brother! Like the pass blocking that Woody Marks has, where he just lunges at dudes, like
he
it's
lays
just
boom on them, and
yeah,
because the last several weeks of Dari just essentially escorting the pass rusher to the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see, him able to stand up as a rookie, because one of his strengths coming out of the draft was his pass catching ability. It wasn't known so much for run blocking, but with the right coaching and the right mindset, you see the week by week improvement. And I think moving forward, we're going to see him start to be more and more into Nick Chubb's workload a little bit, which I think is good news for Nick Chubb. You can utilize him a little bit more in the fourth quarter when defenses are gassed or in blowouts, and let him get his bearings back. He hasn't played much football in the last 2 years, so
right,
it's a win-win for both players.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think that's good. I think this is the guy, obviously, that you get that gets a starting role now until whatever happens with Joe Mixon. This is your guy moving forward. Nick Chubb is still your backup. I mean, I'm looking at his stats. I mean, he had 17 carries for 69 yards, was averaging 4.1 yards. He had a touchdown, and his longest run was of 18 yards, which is one of those bursts that I was talking about. Not only that, but as you mentioned right now, his pass catching ability. I'm like, that is a crucial moment to use Woody Marks whenever your options are just kind of like, okay, where do I go next? That's your guy right there. So I was very impressed by Woody Marks, and I think moving forward, like I said, this is your starter. This is your starter, and I think it helps alleviate a little bit of CJ Stroud in the pass block. This is a guy that, like, we've seen himself, like I said, lunging at other players, and putting his body on the line. So I honestly, I really do enjoy watching this guy. So I'm hoping that this is something that stays positive for the Texans. Okay, so that's a good CJ Stroud, actually, because he had 22 completions, 22 out of 28 for 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, in a 125.1 rating. Like, those are the stats that you're used to seeing from CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I think, again, this is against the Tennessee Titans, though. That's the thing that you have to really put into consideration. This is against Tennessee, so that's what it entails. So it kind of says, okay, so CJ was able to do it, but again, this all started happening in the fourth quarter. It's almost like, do you remember when we used to talk about? Let me put this into context. Hear me out first. Remember when we used to talk about Davis Mills and then it was like in trash time? This is what that
he was Blake Bortles reborn.
Right.
Anyone who played fantasy football knows Blake Bortles was the king of garbage time stats, but he was a big boon in fantasy because he would put up so many points, but it was, in context when the game was already over.
Yeah, it was in the fourth quarter. That's the thing. It was in the fourth. That's when you start seeing those stats. From afar, it looks like, oh wow, it's pretty good, but there's context behind it.
Well, to play devil's advocate, I think part of it, was the defense being tired, but also something we haven't seen so much from the Texans the last several seasons is making those key second half adjustments.
Yes.
And I think they made some adjustments, and from what
they did,
Coach Ryan said, that play call to from CJ Stroud to Higgins, CJ audibled into that, and in the press conferences after the game, they're like, he was able to call his own shot a little bit more, and you can see him look more comfortable in the pocket. Didn't miss as many easy throws as he has the last several weeks.
Yeah,
he looked like
100%.
a completely different quarterback. Like, he looked shades of his rookie season almost.
Yeah, I think
Titans, and they aren't, by every metric, aren't a very good defense, but still, it's one of those games where a get right game. Everyone needs a slump buster per se.
Yeah. This is I think I texted you too. I was like, I think this is one of those games where it's going to give CJ Stroud a little bit of confidence. This is a game where you can try to get away with some certain plays that you wanted to try out. Does that make sense? Like, this is the game that you can. This is basically, I don't want to say that necessarily a practice, but like, this is a game that you can try things out that you've been wanting to try.
It
Um,
reminds me of his rookie season when they played against Jacksonville. His first
Yeah.
2 weeks in the season, he didn't look very good. Like there was some question marks about his, decision making ability and ability to throw the football. And then
Yeah.
week 3 against Jacksonville, he had his breakout game, and that they used that as momentum for the rest of the season.
right.
I think this could be that kind of catapult for him as well. Just
It could.
get him out of that slump. It's like in sales. Whenever you have like a really bad month, you get a big sale, and they just all seem easy, and it's just smooth sailing. It could be the type of moment for him.
Yeah, it could. That's a definitely possibility. As I'm looking at the receiving stats, Nico had 6 targets. 4 of those were catches for 79 yards. Not bad. Woody Marks again here had he was 4 or 5, 50 yards for Woody Marks in the receiving lane. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Then you got Dalton Schultz was part of it too. So you got Schultz, and then you got Higgins as well, 24 yards. Christian Kirk was in there too for 20 yards. Hutchinson was in there again for 17 yards. Nick Chubb even caught some. That was a surprise. Nick Chubb catching a pass. I was like, what?
It's not known for his pass catch.
He is not known for pass catch. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there was any production that you get from him in the passing game.
Yeah, and by the way, even though he wasn't known, he had two receptions and caught all of both of those receptions. Had a total of 15 yards catching, and as long as one was for 8 yards, I think it was for the first down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one was Jalen Noel, 1 catch for -2 yards. That didn't look too. Yeah, he lost 2 yards on that one.
Yeah, that's a guy I would like to see them incorporate a little bit more into the offense. He has that 4.3 speed, and you got to find ways to get him the ball.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a guy that most likely will eventually make it into that slot position. But I mean, but they're using him right now on special teams, which by all means, yeah, he's actually a pretty good punt returner.
Yeah,
So,
he's pretty advantageous field position. So I mean, utilize him as you can. But like I think in the passing game, you got to figure out some packages to get him the ball and get him in space because he has game breaking speed. You just got to get him the ball.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. So at that point, it's like I see that, I see the benefit of it, but at the same time, there's a guy that was mentioned in the by the announcers that you definitely are happy to hear about. Tank Dell was sprinting. That's a major step into his development to coming back.
Because after watching the game this past weekend with Tyreek Hill, like he had this exact same injury that Tank Dell.
That was gruesome, dude.
It was tough to watch, and it reminded me of that exact moment during that playoff game when it happened to Tank Dell, just seeing the leg go in the opposite direction. It's tough to watch.
Yeah,
seeing him be able to because he's posted some of his videos working out as well, and now that he's actually running, next steps maybe lifting some weights and then starting doing some football activities. There's a possibility they could activate him this year. That remains to be seen, but it's a fairly good sign for that he's already running.
Yeah, it's just like now, not only just keeping in shape is like being in football shape too, which is two different things. I'm not a player, but I've heard, but nonetheless, it's like, I those are the good. Those are the positives. I saw CJ Stroud also not hold the ball as long in some plays, which I felt that was very beneficial for him. The hurry up offense was also, something that has been working for the Texans as well. So that's also part of the good. Defense, you can't even that stays constant. That's a constant that's always positive in the defensive side of the ball.
They've allowed 51 points on the season, which if they keep
the lowest, right?
It's going to be one of those historic defensive seasons.
Yeah, it's defense has been just completely that's elite. It's still an elite defense.
The reason they've been in there hasn't been a blowout. They've kept the team in games. If the offense was a little bit more competent those first few weeks, we're talking about a 4-0 season right now.
Yeah, you got Derek Stingley who had an interception in this game. I think he had an interception in this game, so that was great to see. And we were, I think, coming in that people were concerned because of his injury. But hey, he looked pretty good out there. So I was happy to see that. Let's see, we have EJ Speed was what made his presence felt on the Texans.
A lot more this week, which was
they did. Yeah, no, they did. Still some missing tackles again. That I think that's just a fundamental thing that's just been happening with the Texans. And it's like, but that's been the constant since about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
It's the
since
missing tackles. That's the one thing they can't seem to fix, you know?
is mind-boggling a little bit when you think that you have a defensive-minded head coach. The number one thing you practice when you play defense, you start playing, pee-wee football when you want to be a defensive player. What's the first thing you do? You practice tackling. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's one thing is if like they're missing tackles because they're trying not to go so high, but like it's just not. They're not even in the vicinity of the ball carrier at times.
Yeah. Daniil Hunter, one of the most underrated pass rushers right now. He's at 4 sacks this season. He's only below Burns from the Giants, Young from the Rams, Granderson from New Orleans, and Gary from Green Bay. Like, that's it. He's top 5 right now. Daniil Hunter's having an amazing season.
And right below him is Will Anderson with 3 sacks.
Yeah, exactly. You have 2 of the most dominant guys, on the defensive side of the ball. So, that. I mean, right now I think they're top 10 in edge duel right now. So that's a team right there. It's good to see that. Daniil Hunter is just the ball. Like, he goes after the quarterback, and that's great and refreshing to see in your defense. So I'm definitely I'm excited to see Daniil Hunter play ball because he's going to get after it.
Yeah.
So I think Will Anderson. There was a quote by Coach Ryans today in the presser. I think they asked him about. Give me 1 second. On Derek Stingley and Will Anderson not practicing. Okay. So again, Stingley and Will Anderson did not practice today. They're both managing. We're looking at those guys from day to day. We'll see how they continue to improve throughout the week. So not much there. But I'm sure they'll. Today's Wednesday, right? So they didn't practice today. That's one of those signs. Hopefully they start practicing tomorrow, and we'll see what happens with those guys. But definitely essential keys on the defense that they're irreplaceable. Those are definitely must-haves on your defense. Let's see.
Now,
we were talking about. Go ahead.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say maybe we should transition to the not so good.
Yeah.
So the not so good is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're transitioning. Okay. Before we do that, this is about Woody Marks. They did ask D'Amico if he anticipates running back Woody Marks into getting more touches. He said every game is different. Whatever touches Woody Marks gets, he's continuing to make the most of them. Whoever touches the football just makes the most of what carries you get. I mean, with that logic, it's probably that basically means Woody Marks going to get the ball. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Nick Chubb, but he's not really. I mean, he's doing his thing, but I think Woody Marks is a guy that you give it over to.
And I think they do it gradual. I think they just do it, starting Sunday. They're going to start Woody Marks. I think they'll still have Nick Chubb as a starter, but I think we're going to see Woody Marks be rotated in a lot more frequently than we're used to seeing this past few weeks. Excuse me.
Yeah. No, that workload's going to increase. I mean, I think he was the most one of the top. I think it was like 30. I think according to Yahoo, I think he was like 34% in fantasy football owners went on and grabbed this guy off of the waiver, not the waivers, but like on.
I was one of the. Well, I only got him in one league, but the other league he got swooped up pretty quick. I'm like,
yeah, he did. Yeah, I think during the game actually. And then finally, the last thing before we move on to what you were talking about. You saw a lot of MJ Stewart coming in for CJ Gardner-Johnson. I thought he played pretty well. I saw MJ Stewart out there actually balling out a little bit.
Yeah, 4 pass breakups, and CJ Gardner-Johnson had.
He did. Yeah. They asked D'Amico again if Coach D'Amico, what about MJ Stewart? They asked him on what he saw from MJ Stewart filling in for CJ Gardner-Johnson. He said, MJ wasn't filling for anyone. He started. He played really well for us. He did what we asked him to do. He played fast. He played physical. He communicated really well on the back end. I think he's definitely on point on that one. He was very physical. The communication part. I mean that's between the team, but as far as like playing well and playing physical and fast, I saw that. That was very transparent on the field. You could see number 29 just balling out, making the tackles, just going after the guy. So I thought that was a pretty, MJ Stewart did what he was supposed to do. Yeah. So, all right, the not so good.
There was quite a few. Like we mentioned earlier in the episode, looking at the score line, just looking at the box score. Oh, they probably shut them out early and just coasted toward the end. No, they struggled a bit. Starting with the very beginning of the game, where Jalen Petrie, I don't know who he was guarding, but he just completely lost his man and let Cam Ward hit almost a 50-yard completion.
Right
out of the gate. Mind you, this is his fourth NFL start on a not so explosive offense, and have someone get that far behind you. It's been a recurring pattern week after week with him in coverage.
Yeah, I think his stats are pretty good. The thing is with Petrie is I think there are mistakes, mental errors that happen when it comes to coverage. Definitely, I agree 100% with what you said. It's like, what? Sometimes, like, randomly, he'll give up a big play.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, and it kind of, you're like, what? But I think we've established that, like, when it's like one-on-one, like, it's Petrie's not the guy you want to be covering. But if it's like, if they put him right at the line of scrimmage, that's your guy that's your extra linebacker, right? That's what he's supposed to be. And I think that's his strength. But I guess, that's what they did. I mean, we were talking a little bit off air, like what is the difference that you saw that the Texans did this week against with the defense of D'Amico?
Well, yeah, one thing we did talk about, which I would think would fall in the positive aspect of it, is he actually relinquished a bit of his play calling to Matt Burke, or Chris Burke, excuse me. Typically, D'Amico's the one calling the plays on defense. He relinquished a little bit over, and the defensive to the actual defensive coordinator, and he pitched the shutout. He made some really great calls. He blitzed, it wasn't anything super exotic, but it was effective. He was able to get through with just a 4-man pass rush.
Yeah.
And like they said last week when the Texans were playing the Jaguars, if you can't block a 4-man pass rush, you're not going to succeed as an NFL offense. And the Titans couldn't stop a 4-man pass rush.
Yeah. No, 100%. Let's see. Let me read you what I think D'Amico said. He says, on the process coming to life against Tennessee. So he said, for me, a really cool thing happened at practice last week. We talked about attacking the football all the time. There were multiple clips of our defense, specifically Kamari Lassiter, and how he practiced last week and the way he attacked the ball. He probably took the ball away at least 3 to 4 times in last Thursday practice. A couple of others, he was jumping up, tipping the football. It was very deliberate. When we went out and played on Sunday versus the Tennessee Titans, he had multiple opportunities where the ball was coming his way. He had one where he ran all the way across the field and attacked the football and made a play. Several others where he's just ripping at the ball. It didn't come out every time, but to see him and his mindset carry over Thursday's practice to Sunday, that's just very representative of the process on what it looks like. So I truly believe, and I can tell you, and I can tell this to our guys, and I tell this to the guys all the time. It's how you work throughout the week that is going to show up in some form or way, in some form or fashion on Sunday. On the 4th down play, another cool one when defensive tackle Tommy Togai, he tips the ball on 4th down. Well, in practice on Thursday, he's doing the exact same thing. So just shows, guys, it's all about how you work. You're not getting a game day and turning it up, so to speak, or I got to show up and I'm going to get hyped and ready for the game. No, the process works because I've done it all week. Now on Sunday, you just continue to be who you've been throughout the week and will make the plays you're supposed to make. Sorry, I just read a whole audible book right there. But good quote though, regardless. So
yeah, it is.
Kamari Lassiter, you could tell. Yeah, he had some plays, and the Tommy Togai tip of the ball, that was pretty good to see that.
Yeah, like I said, the pass coverage was definitely much improved this week.
Yeah.
Again, the caveat is it's the Tennessee Titans who have one of the worst passing attacks in the league, but baby steps. Baby steps. You need, the little wins start to add up to big wins, and it's all about the mindset. And they cleaned some things up that we have criticized the last few weeks. But going back to the not so good.
Yeah.
We're seeing entirely too many snap counts of Henry To'oTo'o. He has been one of the worst tacklers in the NFL this season.
Oh yeah, what's going on there, man?
Tackle rate is just below, not just below league average. It's like below preseason averages. It's kind of marvelous because you brought in EJ Speed to essentially help out the linebacking core, but we see To'oTo'o out there 73% of the snaps.
Yeah.
It's a little puzzling, and having someone that can't tackle, go against their opponent on Sunday, the Ravens, who have Derrick Henry. Like, you miss a tackle against Derrick Henry, he's going to take it to the house.
Oh yeah. It's definitely that has to be fixed. I mean, but that's been the recurring theme since 3 years. So that's the downfall of it, right? What to do with the missing tackles, right? With Henry To'oTo'o. Keep in mind, this is one of the reasons why the Texans, I still think they could have won that game against Tampa Bay
if he
makes that tackle, right, against Baker Mayfield, prevents him from getting that first down on the long and that's it.
It's
game set.
It's not Josh Allen. This is Baker Mayfield. He is not the most athletic guy. You should be able to not have him juke you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. No, 100%. So,
now the just downright bad. There was one clip that I saw today. It was probably the fastest sack I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
the Jeffrey Simmons sack. Like, I remember watching it in real time. I'm like,
what just happened?
I'm like, that wasn't offsides. Like, how did it happen so fast? They didn't really show the replay of what happened exactly. But days later, people dissect the plays, and in slow motion, you see two Texans linemen blocking each other, allowing him to run straight into CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Zero resistance. Like, it took not even a full second. I'm like, as soon as the ball snapped, he was on top of CJ. I'm like,
it was like at first I was thinking over here, is that Troy Polamalu just calling it? Flying across the offensive, the Texas offensive line, just getting to him. Yeah, even the announcer was like, "Oh my goodness!" It was surprising. That seemed more like a missed assignment, like whichever going, because they both bumped into each other. You know what I mean?
They blocked each other.
They blocked each other. It's like, wow, and that was Ingram and Titus Howard.
Titus Howard over the years. Last season, we tried to strip the ball from CJ Stroud. I'm like, God, what are you doing out there, man?
Blocking
these mental errors that happen at the worst opportune moments.
At the worst times. Yes, that's the thing. Mental errors are going to happen, but it's the time and place. Like.
Well, I think nothing will ever top Kenyon Green second Davis Mills against the Eagles.
Bro.
Who, by the way, is playing for the Ravens.
Yeah. Is he playing, or is that in the practice squad?
Well, they picked him up. With their injuries, they might activate him because Baltimore, we'll get into that in a little bit, but they got a laundry list of injured players and key players at that.
True. To go back to Henry To'oTo'o's thing, like you said, before we move on to the Baltimore thing. So in the first half, Henry To'oTo'o played 70% of the snaps. EJ Speed's played only 37. This is the first half.
Mm-hmm.
In the second half, that drastically changed. To'oTo'o only played 25% of the snaps. Speed played the rest of it. So
I think that's what
big difference.
That should be the recipe, because he's much more athletic. He is much better in coverage, and he is a much more disciplined tackler. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at that point, it was a big difference maker. Like you definitely saw a difference on that. And so I don't know what's going on with the decline there, but it's definitely I feel like you can call it how do you call it a decline so far, or sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. But it's real. It's happening to him.
Well, Toto is in his fourth season, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, is he? That's right. Oh, my apologies. I thought he was a rookie. My apologies. No. I thought last year it was his rookie year. So yeah. No. Okay. So he's been around then.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. So is that I mean, is that the decline?
Well, because when they drafted him, he wasn't a starter. He was he was second string essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
He was playing time over the last couple seasons. Last season, he was was his best season as a professional, but
yeah,
he started decline. He was one of those what you don't see anymore, 2 down linebackers. He is great against the run, but against the pass, it's more miss than hit.
Yeah.
This is a passing league. If you can't, if you're a linebacker and you can't cover, you have a very limited role on most teams.
Yeah. Henry Toto, one of those guys that, linebacker from the SEC that, both Nick Casario and D'Amico Ryans like to see out there, those SEC guys. So yeah, Alabama guy too. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. My apologies. He was in the 2023 draft along with CJ and them. So yeah, this is a year where basically you want to show off, try to get that contract extension and whatnot, but I don't know, it's not looking so well right now. But hopefully, he's able to pick it up or whatnot, and then but if not, then EJ Speed has been pretty solid in that position.
Yeah, you can tell he's been putting in the work because he wants to be on the field a lot more and got more of an opportunity this week, and it showed in that second half.
Yeah, they had him on special teams. He's playing special teams for long. So I was okay. I got this guy off of the Indianapolis Colts, put him on special teams, but now I mean he's showing up in that starting role. So pretty good. All right, let's shift our focus over to the Baltimore Ravens. Texans face off against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Have they give? So is he not? Is Lamar Jackson not playing? Right? Has that already been confirmed, or are they still?
On Sunday, the first initial reports were he was going to miss at least 3 to 4 weeks with the
hamstring, right? Hamstring. Yeah.
He didn't practice today, but I think it's a bit of gamesmanship on the Baltimore Ravens part. They're like, we're taking it day to day, but with a player of Lamar Jackson's caliber, when it comes to hamstrings, he's an explosive runner. Like, you'd rather err on the side of caution because it were similar to what happened to Dak Prescott last season. They made him. He came back a little bit early from some hamstring discomfort and ended up tearing it off the bone. Yeah. You don't want to see that with the former MVP like Lamar Jackson because he is the Baltimore Ravens offense. They go as he. Because if he goes down, you have Cooper Rush at quarterback, and in the AFC North, it's wide open right now. But with the rest of the AFC, you can't compete with a guy like Cooper Rush at quarterback.
Yeah,
no matter how great Derrick Henry is, like he's not the guy that's going to get you to the AFC Championship game and beyond that.
Yeah,
so that's something to keep an eye on throughout the week and monitoring his weekly practice. If he doesn't practice by Friday, more than likely he's not going to play. But Coach Ryan said they were practicing like they expect him to play, but I think it's just gamesmanship, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I wouldn't expect to see him on the field again. I'm pretty sure they've figured that out. One of the things I think the Texans going in should really look at is the Baltimore Ravens defense. They rank just about at the bottom of every single category right now.
Yeah, which is I was talking through this with my sales manager at work. We're like, typically when you think of Baltimore, you think of hard-nosed defense. Here, it's the opposite. Like everyone that runs against them, every running back's gone over 100 yards with almost 5 yards of carry or more. And for a team like Houston, you have a running back like Whitney Marks is starting to find his footing in the NFL as a professional. This might be his big breakout game where he gains over 100 yards on the ground alone. And then you have Nick Chubb that's a battering ram, the fourth quarter. They got a real chance to get over the hump of being able to beat the Baltimore Ravens. They have not beaten them in quite some time.
Yeah. So especially at home. Especially at home. Passing defense for the Ravens. They currently rank 31st out of 32 teams.
It's not great,
passing defense. They've allowed 9 touchdowns. They've allowed 265.5 yards on air. Okay. Next, rushing. Ready?
Yeah.
Rushing, they're on 27th in the league. They've allowed 141.3 yards, and they've allowed 7 rushing touchdowns this season. I mean, it's week 4, but still.
That's
week 4.
Yeah.
Week 4. 7 touchdowns. Yeah. Scoring defense. I mean, I will say this: scoring defense, the Texans are number 1 with only never mind, not the Texans. The Ravens, sorry. 32nd. They're the last one in the league for that. Scoring defense. Red zone defense. The Texans struggle a lot in the red zone offensively. But the Baltimore Ravens are ranked 28th in red zone defense out of 32 teams, which means
they're bottom 5 in almost every major statistical category for defense.
So their defense red zone touchdown rate for the Baltimore Ravens is 75%. Ooh. Texans have a really good chance of making those numbers shine this week. Yeah. Against the battered defense, and of course, not having probably not having Lamar Jackson at the helm with Cooper Rush. And if you remember, the Texans put a number on Cooper Rush last season when they played against the Cowboys.
Yep.
So the Texans know how to get to Cooper Rush.
A team that was in essentially a similar position,
right?
Not so great defense, a running game that's struggling, and a line that struggles to, pass block.
Right. The one category where they're the highest, and not by much, the Ravens defense is in third down defense. This is where the Texans kind of struggle too to get those first downs. But I mean, they're ranked 24th in the league.
Yeah, it's still bottom 10.
It's still bottom. So basically, the defense third down rate for the Baltimore Ravens is 41.9%. I mean, it's a game for the Texans to take,
especially
if they play their cards right.
With Coach Harbaugh giving them some bulletin board material, calling this for the Ravens a get-right game.
Yeah,
it's a team that they have a key injuries at not every position, but at quarterback, at corner, at linebacker, at defensive tackle. You got a lot of key injuries, and you call this a get-right game for a team that's coming in off a high, shutting a divisional opponent out at home. Like you gotta watch what you say sometimes, because it can come back.
Disrespect. No,
like Darius Sneed, who's Nico Collins, who? And yeah, it didn't work out so well for our friend there.
Yeah, that was interesting take. Like who? And then after the interview, he was very quiet. Congratulations to him, whatever. But and then I think Nico Collins was pretty humble about it, But that was good to see. So I mean, it is what it is. But sometimes you just gotta basically roll with the punches. I mean, it's Nico Collins performed, against Sneed. So it was good. It was good. It's almost like the Andre Johnson thing. Remember, when they would talk about Andre Johnson would just quiet, and then he would show everything off on the field
every single time.
Yeah. So that was good to see. So I honestly, based on it seems like all the odds are stacked up against the Baltimore Ravens. Really quick, I want to read to you the quote that D'Amico Ryan said in the presser. On if the team has tape on the Baltimore Ravens quarterback Cooper Rush from last season, will it help at all? He said, for us specifically, we focus on the Baltimore Ravens and how they run their offense. So that's what it'll be. That's our preparation. That's what we have to go off. It'll be the Ravens film. So that's what we'll go off of. We're operating if the Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is playing. We'll see what happens throughout the week, but we're not playing in the what ifs and that. Right now, we're just focusing on Lamar and the dynamics that he brings to the game. I mean, you have to contain Lamar. If it were Lamar Jackson, which I don't think it will, but whatever. Stranger things have happened. If it is Lamar, then yeah, it's a good point. Obviously you got to make sure and see what's going on. Maybe he's slower down, but the way that it looked, I don't think it's going to be Lamar at that point. And
Well, I
at that
mean,
point, you just focus on basically Derrick Henry, how to
no,
stop the man.
doesn't even matter which quarterback it is. You
Yeah.
still want to focus on, because you defend Lamar the same way. You keep a spy on him and you get pressure with your front four. And
Yeah.
you do the same thing you do with Cooper Rush as well, because they did that last season against the Cowboys. They had relentless front four pressure, and it kept him rattled throughout the game. He never felt comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah.
Even if it's Lamar Jackson out there, if he does go out there, he's not going to be 100%. So
Right.
he's going to try to operate more from the pocket. So the same strategy is still going to work, but you still keep a spy because it's Lamar Jackson. Like, let's be real. 60% of Lamar Jackson's faster than most of the NFL. So
Yeah.
always on threat.
Yeah. And lastly, let me show you the quote he talks about on what stands out to him about the Baltimore Ravens defense, which is what we just talked about. They're playing really good ball for the most part. Of course, they're giving up some explosives here and there, but they're always really good. Baltimore Ravens inside linebacker Roquan Smith is always great. The defensive line is always good. I know they're dealing with some injuries, but they all always have good players, regardless if it's ones, twos, or threes. So they'll be prepared. I know they'll be motivated. They're in a boat, and like we are trying to find some wins. So it'll be a fight no matter who plays. I thought Roquan Smith hurt? I thought he was hurt, but I might be wrong on that one.
They got so many. I know Kyle Hamilton was banged up.
Yeah.
Their defensive tackle, I think one of their linebackers, Marlon Humphrey. Like, they got a lot of injuries.
No, I don't think he's injured. Okay. Ronnie Jackson. No, he's a non-participant.
Oh.
Roquan Smith. Yeah. He's a non-participant. It looks like safety Kyle Hamilton, groin injury. Emory Jones, their tackle, shoulder. Their center, Tyler Linderbaum, calf. Defensive end, Brent Urban, finger. We're also listed as they're limited. Two players who missed the Chiefs game were able to practice, which is defensive tackle Travis Jones. It was a knee injury. Linebacker Calvin Noy had a hammy. Were limited participants. Again, Jackson's out of practice with a hamstring injury, and 4 other Ravens also. They left Sunday's loss against the Chiefs, who also remained out. Again, okay, so Roquan Smith hamstring, so he's injured. Okay, yeah. Left tackle Ronnie Stanley, ankle.
That's
cornerback Marlon Humphrey, calf. Cornerback Nate Wiggins, elbow. All missed the first practice of week 5. Cornerback Shidobi Awuzie, hamstring. Fullback Patrick Ricard, calf. Wide receiver Devontae Walker, oblique. Rounded. And these were all rounded to the group of non-participants, so they're banged up. Ravens are banged up, and it's only week 4. It's about to be week 5.
Yeah, it's anyone that plays fantasy football, it's that time of year where you're really having to dig through the waiver wire to find healthy players.
Yeah,
and the Ravens are going a bit of it themselves, and this is a good opportunity for the Texans to kind of try to recapture your footing in the AFC, because you can go to 1-4, not in the AFC, not in the AFC or the AFC South, because the Colts are undefeated at the moment.
Yeah, they pulled through. I remember I told you guys the last time we were on, I was talking about the Colts haven't really played since quality opponent. Actually no, they're not undefeated. Rios, they lost.
Oh yeah, they lost. That's right.
They lost. Yeah.
3-1, but
yeah, but they're still 3-1. They're at 750 right now in the percentage. Jacksonville's right behind them at 750. Texans are right behind them at 250. The Titans are just at 0. So, it's where that's at. I think the Texans. I think the Texans, if they played it, like I said, if they play their cards right, if CJ gets rid of the ball a little faster, looks for his options and stuff like that, gets rid of the ball or throws it away, avoids those sacks, you're going to send out a message, right? Your defense has been playing stellar, and if it is Cooper Rush at the playing for Baltimore, really mainly you have to worry about Derrick Henry, and that's the good thing is it's just one player, right? Yes, there's any given Sunday, anything can happen, but still, you have a better percentage of winning against Baltimore using those key things, making Cooper Rush uncomfortable, because he will make mistakes. Cooper, evident from the last season's game against the Cowboys, he will make mistakes.
And Derrick Henry has had ball security issues this season.
Yes, right.
Games with fumbling the ball, and I think that's a defense like the Texans, which is as they've been mentioning in their interviews, they've been focusing on going after the ball.
Yeah,
this might be a good opportunity for them to create some turnovers, get their offense in good field position, get them confident, get those gears in motion, and put up an early lead, and makes the job that much easier for the defense when they're playing with a lead versus having to focus on stopping the offense because the Texans offense can't put up any points.
Yeah,
like it shifts the whole momentum and the whole trajectory of that entire game if they can get an early lead and let the defense essentially stack the box and just go after the quarterback, because they have to throw it at that point when they're playing from behind.
So this is funny. Says on Sunday after the week 5 odds after the week 5 NFL odds open with the Ravens at 7.5 point favorites. The Ravens versus Texans line swung all the way down to negative 1.5, and the under is 40.5. So yeah, I still think the Texans win it.
No, I agree.
If again the Texans play, if everything is in place for the Texans defense, if you control Derrick Henry, make Cooper Rush uncomfortable, I can see the Texans winning. I think, and based off of last week's performance, when I felt like they started getting a little bit of a rhythm in the fourth quarter, I mean, there's a possibility there where, okay, you can build off of that and see what worked, what didn't work, and then use it against the Ravens defense, who's battered also, and who's giving up so many plays on the pass defense and rushing. Woody Marks, again, this is a guy that the Texans, the Ravens rush defense isn't that good. Use him. This is where he should be able to shine, which is what you said not long ago, also. So.
Yeah, I would say the game plan on the offense should be more McVay offense, less Patriots offense.
Yeah.
With the McVay offense, it's a lot more motions, and it's a much more quicker passing game versus the Patriots offense, which what we've seen so far from this season has been a mesh of the two, but I think you should lean more towards that aspect of it because it plays into the Texans' strengths as far as getting the ball out of CJ's hands quickly and utilizing your playmakers in space. Like Nico Collins should be able to line up anywhere on the field, and he's going to create separation. He's going to beat, one-on-one coverage, man coverage. And if they're playing zone, that should open up the running game for Woody Marks or using him in the passing game. So it creates much more disadvantages for the Ravens defense going with that approach versus going with the Patriots approach, where it's more long drawn out plays, which we have seen have not worked for this team because they still struggle. As much as the offensive line has improved, they still struggle with those long developing plays because they can't pass block that long.
Yeah. Let's look at there you go. So I have the Texans winning this weekend. If I'm predicting a score, I'm gonna say, again, this is if the Texans play their cards right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the score goes up to, let's go with 20 to 13.
Okay. I think it's gonna be a bit more. I think it's gonna be a bit more high scoring just because of the nature of the Ravens defense right now. I have the Texans winning. I'm gonna go 34-17 Texans.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So pretty big margin. Not bad. I think we both have that. Again, this is if Lamar doesn't play. And even if he's playing, he's probably going to be limited to that. But he can still do some damage. But this is all if Cooper Rush plays. This is all if the Texans.
Yeah, this is based on him. If it's Lamar's playing, it's going to be a much tighter contest. Even though the Ravens defense is one of the league's worst, it's still Lamar Jackson. You got to give him his respect.
Yeah. No, 100%. Okay, so we're done with that. Really quick, before we go, I want to shed some light on some local college football. We got the Houston Cougars, U of H, facing off against the Texas Tech Raiders. Big 12 conference. The Texas Tech Raiders are 1-0 in Big 12 conference matchup. But also, Cougars are the same way. They're also undefeated. Both of them, they're coming in 4-0 as well. So this is going to be a good one. It's definitely one to see. Obviously Texas Tech is coming in. The Red Raiders all in red, which is what you would normally see at a Cougars game, just all red. But the Cougars this weekend, you're wearing the old Houston blue uniform, so H-Town blue, representing in the Cougars game. This game is anticipated. It's the tickets are selling for this game, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'll be there covering the game. Two guys that I'm looking out for on the Texas Tech Raiders side. I'm looking at linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, and of course for U of H, I'm also looking for two of the guys that we've covered from our esquina. Sorry, Jacob Rodriguez, and of course, what do you call it? Jacob Garza, long snapper for U of H. Because they're both William B. Campbell Trophy semifinalists. If you're not familiar with the William B. Campbell Trophy, it's a college football's premier scholar athlete award, and so they're going to face off against each other, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Connor Wegman has been just phenomenal and outstanding for U of H. He's basically helped revitalize the U of H's offense, and Willie Fritz has put them in the best. Coach Willie Fritz has put them in the best situation possible. Last weekend, if you were up like I was till just about 1 a.m. watching U of H Oregon State take on U of H over there in Oregon. It was West Coast time. It was a good back and forth game. Honestly, it started off with U of H like being down 14-0 at one point, and then as time went on during the second half, U of H just started coming back little by little. They went into overtime, and finally, U of H ended up getting the victory. I think it's 27-24 victory in overtime based off a Ethan Sanchez field goal, and Cougs were undefeated. So this is the best start the Cougars have had since 2016. So not the best start, but undefeated since 2016. Yeah. So it's a major run for U of H.
Because the last time the program was when he was playing this well was when they had Coach Tom Herman, and he led them to the Peach Bowl victory over Oklahoma, and that was a huge monumental thing for the program, because the football program had struggled for quite a bit, and they were in the Big 12 at that time. They were still in Conference USA, essentially.
Conference USA, yeah.
No, I've mentioned on previous episodes, Coach Fritz, I liken him almost to Coach Sanson for the men's basketball team. He's able to revitalize that program and just bring in better recruits, and maybe we can see the men's football team take the same leap that the men's basketball team has taken.
Right. No, 100%. I think U of H has a really good team right now. They're rolling. They make the city proud with the kind of football they're playing. I think I was texting you guys at the same time as I was watching. I was like, look, I see a lot of plays that are developing that are very creative, that put Connor Wayman in the best possible situation. And it's something that I would love to see the Texans do more of. And this is like straight play action pass. It's like what you would like the Texans to do, excuse me. And so, there's receivers open, and Connor Wegman, lays it on those guys. Yes, there's drops, but it's what you expect from college football here and there. But because in the NFL they would make those catches 9 out of 10, but that's what you see. But every single play that I saw develop, it was like, oh wow, it was a really good situation. So honestly, the play calling has been really good for U of H as well. That has helped them out. But having Connor Wayman be mobile also and just go for those runs really allows that aspect of him not just being a one-dimensional quarterback, just being able to pass the ball. He's able to just kind of run it into as well, makes him a dual threat, So that has been great. The tight end as well has been phenomenal. That's your go-to guy right there. So that they have something. They have something going on, and of course the Cougar defense has been outstanding as well. So it's definitely a matchup to look at over the weekend. 6 p.m. Central Time. U of H I believe they're on ESPN, I believe. So that should be a good one. Yeah, man, looking forward to that. So that's going to be it for us this weekend. This week, excuse me. We'll see you guys again next week. It looks like we may have a guest next week. Emily, the baseball girly, it looks like might be on next week. So we'll see how that goes. Which she'll probably turn into Emily, the football girly on this one. So we'll see what's going on. But that'll be it for this week. Again, if you saw our banner, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. Just like it says at the bottom, at B Blitz Pod, of course. Follow us on X at B Blitz Pod, and our Instagram account. You will see a lot of the college football stuff that we cover. A lot of the Latino players that are out there making a name for themselves as well. And just to follow, of course. This is all part of our Esquina. Don't forget to follow our Esquina on their IG account at our Esquina, just like it says right there. And that's going to be it for us this week. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
Tell them bring on the blitz. 20 number dogs don't miss. Fourth down and flick of the wrist. And we go for the wrist. Jumping and racing and fist. Regardless of power.